American Seagull Predictions. I'm back with a new video. Yesterday we found there's this one section in between Family Feud that just had nothing but political ads in Pennsylvania. And it is true that Pennsylvania is going to be the state with the most political ads per capita than any of the other swing states. Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada. None of them are going to even be coming close to the amount of ads Pennsylvania has, with its 19 juicy electoral votes at stake. And also a Senate race, which honestly isn't really going to be that competitive. But McCormick is still putting up a good fight. We're just going to have to wait and see what Pennsylvania delivers in November. But these ads are getting so annoying to the point where there should be a campaign just to get rid of political ads at all. But that would be getting rid of the freedom of speech, though. But you're basically interfering with voters' opinions, basically, with these. I don't know. And just a bunch of dumb super PACs. I'm okay with Kamala or Trump's campaign releasing their own ads, but these PACs releasing their ads are beyond stupidity. So we're just going to react to some of them.
Prices are spiking in Pennsylvania, and Senator Bob Casey's reckless spending made things worse. Casey joined Washington liberals in voting for Trump.
Yeah, Casey acts like he's Mr. Moderate in these bills, yet he is very in line with Joe Biden and was proud of it. Yet he acts like he works with Republicans on these bills when he ain't working with jack shit. And then he calls himself Mr. Moderate. He does this every 6 years. For 5 years after he wins, he'll do pretty liberal stuff, and then for the final year right before his re-election, he'll act like he's Mr. Moderate.
Trillions in reckless spending, driving up prices for families. Worse, Senator Casey voted to allow COVID relief checks.
There's so many of these Trump Casey voters out there, especially in Western Pennsylvania and probably in the Scranton area, that are probably gonna vote for Casey, but then will vote for Trump. But, are going to vote Democrat down ballot.
For illegal
they might vote Republican for attorney general.
And convicted criminals, even murderers. Senator Casey voted to allow more money for illegals, leaving less for us. Tell Senator Casey to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster.
I'm running to fight
by the way,
for an
this for a
America
PAC for Kamala Harris.
Where the economy works for working people. Where you only have to work one job.
That's why we have so many jobs, is because people have to work two jobs to make a living.
And we're hard.
And also, I like how she's not really even talking about Joe Biden's record, because his record is pretty shitty.
Where reproductive rights are not just protected by the Constitution of the United States, but guaranteed in every state.
But anyway, this isn't exactly by her campaign.
Because that's our America. And that's the America I believe in.
FFPAC is
it's an okay ad for her, but it's not getting the base out, though.
Responsible for the content of this ad.
Thrilled.
Kamala Harris has taken on gang members.
This is a complete lie. She's actually done some of the most liberal stuff when she was senator of California. And not only that, attorney general of California.
To get justice for victims.
She basically let a lot of gang members. This ad is so full of shit as well.
Big banks to pay back people they ripped off. Taken on drug companies to cap insulin at 30.
I don't think anyone gives a shit about that.
Now she's running to take on greedy corporations who jack up prices to lower everyday costs for working families. They're spending millions on ads.
Because they're spending millions of ads because they're probably true, actually. If they won't be spending this much ads on her if she wasn't such a failure on the border and even being a competent attorney general. The thing about Shapiro, I'm just gonna compare him. He was actually a decent attorney general. He still kind of did some dumb stuff, but he at least was able to live up to being an attorney general, unlike Kamala Harris, who couldn't even be good at that. It's pretty easy to be attorney general on my side. And you don't have to really be partisan.
Fights for you.
This ad makes no sense.
It's responsible for the content of this ad.
Maybe you take the turnpike.
Oh my gosh, this is actually the same voice actor who did the back when Biden was still running. He got fired probably because Kamala Harris just likes firing everyone. So he's just doing Dave McCormick anti-Dave McCormick ads. He's like from the mean tweets, and it was on like Biden's 2024 campaign before he dropped down, whatever. But like this ad is so crap.
Or I-79.
I bet Casey also never takes these anyway.
To get back home. Dave McCormick takes a Pilatus PC-12, a private plane, all the way back to his mansion in Connecticut.
They were gonna run this. Fetterman would have exactly ran this if he was the nominee and not Oz. I can guarantee you that's what they were literally gonna do.
Where McCormick was living for 15 years.
It doesn't mean that he was living there for all of his life, though.
You see, Connecticut Dave made a fortune on Wall Street. He broke up companies.
Broke up companies? I thought you said that he destroyed big companies. You're basically saying that he broke up big companies. I thought you guys said it's good. Like, literally a Kamala Harris ad said that was good.
Laid off Pennsylvania workers and shipped jobs to China.
Okay, that's just like full of shit. I don't know about it. Although I do know that McCormick is somewhat bad. I mean, he is a globalist, not gonna lie. He does have, even from a person that probably would go with him over Casey, I will say he does have a few things in his closet that I wouldn't really say are conservative. I mean, I did meet him, in fact, actually. But he's I'm still kind of pissed off at him because he kind of did screw over Oz for the general, so I kind of do hate him for that.
Win Senate is responsible for...
It's even in America. This looks like I'm UK.
I'm Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council. America needs a commander-in-chief who's tough on illegal immigration.
Now, the good thing about Trump is that he's using illegal immigration and then he's tying it to everything. Like, even abortion. He did that the debate against Biden, if you saw. And I think it worked out well.
Kamala Harris fails that test.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
Kamala was Biden's border czar. She supported sanctuary cities and taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. And she created the worst border crisis in American history. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It's just another ad. Now, this ad coming up right here, this is a solid ad. This ad is beyond solid of an ad. Because this ad, it seems like it's going to be some pro-Kamala Harris ad. But once you dig into it more, it's not.
I became a nurse to make lives better. Today, that's hard to do because of the open border. I've seen firsthand the damage that Kamala Harris caused as our country's borders are. Hospitals everywhere are overwhelmed, and American patients are paying the price.
This is probably by far the best ad from a PAC, probably. This is the only good ad from a PAC.
My patients...
I mean, don't get me wrong, the last ad was okay, but this is, like, beyond tier.
Covering the healthcare costs for people here illegally while their own cares jeopardized.
Matching up for lips, but
Kamala Harris is weak and dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Dave.
Now you have the Attorney General Dave Sunday, who's running against D. Pasquale, funny enough, who lost to Scott Perry back in 2020. I thought his career would be over after losing to Scott Perry. But I mean, Dave Sunday, I think, is running a good campaign. He's actually from our area, kind of. He's from York. I'm from Cumberland.
For Pennsylvania Attorney General.
This is a fine ad, but it's just like
served in the Navy and worked his way.
He just looks like a Dave McCormick.
Through college.
Another Dave.
And law school as district attorney.
Most of the people that are going to be running to the auditor and treasurer elections and the presidency, the whole three of those aren't going to be having these, but the attorney general and the Senate election are both going to have Dave as their
drugs off the streets brought violent criminals to justice and led the arrest and prosecution of more than 100 gang members threatening our communities. That's why Dave...
And also, he got endorsed by Pennsylvania State Troopers, which Shapiro, if you remember, he actually got endorsed by the Pennsylvania State Troopers back in 2022. And that was basically a huge blow to Mastriano. I'll just say that. And I absolutely doubt that Kamala Harris, now, even if he will pick Shapiro, I still feel like Kamala Harris is at the top of the ticket. The PA State Troopers are definitely endorsing Trump for sure, 100%. They're definitely probably 100% behind Trump.
They earned the endorsement of PA law enforcement, keeping our community
Dave Sunday
safe.
So,
Dave Sunday for Pennsylvania.
I just like his name, Sunday.
Attorney
he just looks like a really sus-looking man. I'm not gonna lie. Doesn't he look like a sus man?
Before she was the most liberal U.S. senator, Kamala Harris was the liberal San Francisco prosecutor.
Trump ads, if I remember correctly. Like, after Harris just announced her
aggressive in all of California. She let an MS-13 gang member go, who then murdered a father and his two sons. She agreed to release another felon, who then committed murder. And Kamala even...
But Kamala Harris told me she was good at action on those things, and that she was fighting the bad guys.
Protected illegal
and getting justice for the victims.
Alien drug dealers, so they could escape deportation.
So Pennsylvania is just like,
Harris,
it's like which side's
dangerous
right?
San Francisco
liberal. It's like Make America Great Again, which I think is more closely aligned with Trump.
America Great Again is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
And I approve this.
Oh, you got official Trump ad right here. Look at this. Trump just looks so dripped.
Message. This is America's border czar, and she's failed us. Under Harris, over 10 million illegally here. 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl. Brutal migrant crimes. And ISIS now here.
Do you have any plans to visit the border? You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
I like how they have
I don't understand the point that you're making.
Kamala Harris failed. Weak, dangerously liberal. Kamala Harris has taken on gang members to get justice for victims. As a you, FF PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
Like,
the one thing Kamala Harris has always been, fearless.
Well, she's been fearless for fearless on anything but the border. Actually, not really. She's not even fearless on anything. She can't even talk to reporters about jack shit. How do you expect her to... I mean, she's probably better at Biden. She doesn't do, like, gaffes or anything. But she can only talk for 20 minutes on record, actually. Because she has mostly shit in her pocket. That comes out of her mouth that people see as useless. I mean, Biden also didn't talk for very little. I could say that. But, I mean, the thing about Trump is that he can go on and on for hours to the point where he could actually be bored at a Trump rally. Kamala Harris, I guess one good thing about Kamala Harris's rallies being short is that, I mean, people aren't going to be tired. It's just going to be kind of quick. But I think people were expecting her rallies to be a little bit longer.
Prosecutor, she put murderers and abusers behind bars. As California's Attorney General, she went after the big banks and won.
Wow, you went after the big banks as Attorney General? Wow.
$20 billion for homeowners. And as Vice President, she took on the big drug companies to cap the cost of insulin.
Some of these are literally from when Biden was still running for president. Why does that girl look like she worked in the Biden administration? Does like Biden sniff that little girl? And Kamala Harris is
because
like,
Kamala Harris has always known who she...
This is, by the way, like back when Biden was still running. That's literally the Biden logo right there.
She represents.
Bipartisan infrastructure.
This campaign is about who we fight for. We believe in a future where every person has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. Where every senior can retire with dignity. But Donald Trump wants to take our country backward. To give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations and end the Affordable Care Act. But we are not going back.
This ad felt like 2 minutes long.
I approve this message.
I like how she's not annoying when she says I pooped this message.
We have a cost of living crisis, and Senator Bob Casey's reckless spending has driven up prices. Casey helped create this mess by voting with President Biden 98% of the time, including trillions in wasteful spending. Instead of helping us, Casey voted to let illegals take your tax dollars. He voted to let illegals collect COVID relief checks. It's more for illegals, less for us. Tell Senator Casey, put Pennsylvania families first, stop the reckless spending, and fix his inflation.
I like how the people are just like saying, Casey, you still have a shot to fix your problems. He's not going to do that. He wants higher inflation. And he's just going to lie and says, I fixed inflation. Anyway, I can tell that this is going to be a pro-Casey ad about abortion.
2 years ago.
Okay, now this is a solid Casey ad, though. But you can't just, like, say, I'm Mr. Moderate. I saved this little girl from fentanyl, and that's fentanyl is, like, a conservative issue. I remember Scott Perry actually talking about the issue back in 2022 for re-election for his Congress.
Killed my beautiful daughter. Brianna's gone, but I'm determined to save other lives. And that's Senator Casey's mission, too. He brought Democrats and Republicans together to pass a new law cracking down on fentanyl from China and Mexico.
But I kind of feel like we're in the Matrix with this one. He acts like everything is fine, like, Mr. Moderate. There's nothing else going on behind the scenes, but he's done for, like, Like, what do we exactly know what he's done for the past 6 years? And honestly, I thought he was sleeping on the job. It turns out he's not sleeping on the job, because sleeping on the job would at least be an improvement from what he's
Enforcement,
doing.
the
Agreeing with Biden most of the
tools
time.
they need to stop the
And I see his voting record. He's pretty partisan.
poison before it crosses.
Like, now Warnock, on the other hand, he's worked with Ted Cruz, Ted Budd, like, and Marco Rubio on some bills. I don't think Bob Casey has worked jack shit. He doesn't even say I worked with this particular Republican. Warnock at least says I can work with this particular senator that's a Republican. Casey just says I worked with Republicans. Like, what Republicans? Name a Republican, dumbass.
Border. Senator Casey gives me hope.
I'm Bob Casey, and I approve this message.
I think he's going to win
To
re-election.
put more money
Self-stand few there.
in your pocket.
No, Bob Casey is taking money out of your
What
pocket.
lady sound like some senior
Trillions
sis
in
that
reckless
says that
spending.
Trump's going to steal your Social Security? Not like a Janie way, which, by the way, I absolutely miss Janie. And we're going to see a classic ad from the PAC that made our Lord and Savior, Janie, PA.
Causing prices to skyrocket.
That's an old
Because of
podcast,
Casey,
but-
Pennsylvanians are paying $11,000 more per year for groceries, gasoline, housing. The more Bob Casey votes, the more you lose. Don't let him pick your pocket anymore. Fire Bob Casey. Keystone
Well, I feel
Renewal
like
Package.
McCormick's going to do this thing. I'm not going to lie. I just feel like McCormick's just going to be like, I'm for lower taxes, but I'm not going to.
Responsible for the content
Also,
of
I don't really know how much Casey really impacts my life. I mean, it only matters like if. It matters if like. If whoever has the majority, basically, which they do, but it's not like just like one senator is going to impact my whole life. I know it's from my state though,
You very, very happy?
so maybe it might do a few
Vacation.
stuff,
Ice cream.
My grandkids.
Well, for Dave McCormick, it's when Roe versus Wade was overturned.
That's right. Dave McCormick
but- Of course, abortion.
said he'd be very, very happy to see our reproductive rights taken away. McCormick wants to outlaw abortions and said he was against exceptions.
Okay, come on. I cannot seriously think that he's like a Doug Mastriano. Like, Mastriano is the only candidate where you could say that. He is not for rape or incest, dumbasses. You're just really reading bullshit. The Huff Post is one of the most liberal posts there is. It's not even a joke. It's up there with the Daily Kos. And if you don't know what that is, that's also basically liberal crap as well. But, I mean, come on. This is like bullshit. Now, I could believe that Fox News won a little bit more. People are like, Fox News is right wing. Well, and I know Wikipedia doesn't want them because, they're conservative. Well, MSNBC is like way more partisan than Fox News. It's not even close.
Even in cases of rape or incest.
You know what will make me very, very happy?
Voting
You
against.
can't even have kids anyway because we took these ads.
All eyes are on
Now,
Pennsylvania.
this isn't really a political ad. This is just like a battleground PA segment. We still got 3 minutes of this crap, so we might as well just pop it.
And CBS 21 News is here for you. From team coverage of Trump's rally in Harrisburg.
I should not be with you today.
To Kamala Harris's stop in Philly.
Hosting her first rally with her VP pick.
And so now we got some work to do.
CBS 21 News Battleground PA reports.
Yeah, I am radical. I do believe
The fact that we have
need to
Kamala
get
Harris
radical.
saying this out loud is probably going to be bad for her.
Radical
And
call.
especially since she didn't pick Shapiro, which was supposed to smoothen the ticket out
Raise
now. Now
money
you
for
have both
funds that
radical and
bailed out
radical.
violent
In fact,
criminals
Walton's
and
actually more
freed
radical
murderers
than Kamala.
and rapists. They even bailed out a domestic abuser. Days later,
Shapiro was Jewish.
he murdered a man and defunded police.
The idea that more police equals more safety. That's
Chris
just
Hayden
wrong.
is a
We
liberal,
have to have this
like a liberal
conversation
Trump.
about
Doesn't mean that-
redirecting resources.
Kamala Harris, dangerously liberal.
I am radical.
Make America Great Again.
I mean,
Is
there's a
responsible
fine
for
pack, but
content.
nothing compared to that one pack that made it sound like it was abortion, but it was secretly against Kamala.
Of this advertising.
At West Point, we had a
Because we got
code.
Dave McCormick.
Cadets don't lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do. Bob Casey's lying about me, and I won't tolerate it. I never made any investments in the makers of illegal fentanyl.
Alright, good to meet
The
you.
fentanyl crisis is because we politicians like Bob Casey left our border wide open, and it's killing Pennsylvanians. Bob Casey's too weak to close the border, and too weak to tell the truth. I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
I am Joe from
Here's
Pennsylvania.
the AB pack out that made Janie. I just wish Janie would come back, unless she's already in the ground. I miss her already. But anyway, Robert, Joe. Northumberland County, which Mastriano won, no problem. So he probably has people that voted for Mastriano and stuff. But like, imagine if this is the guy, the 3% of Biden voters that ended up voting for Mastriano. Hey, you never know.
I've served this country for over 41 years in the military. On January 6th, I felt violated.
Thousands storming the Capitol.
Violent mobs stoked and encouraged
for the billionth time.
by the words of President.
And you're probably going to tie like, you would have tied probably like J.D. Vance this, like he was at the rally or some shit.
There is nobody else that bears the same responsibility as Donald Trump for January 6th.
He said, patriotic and peacefully make your voices heard. He didn't say, riot the Capitol, guys. Riot the Capitol. Then you couldn't have the right to say that.
If it wasn't for him inciting violence, it wouldn't have happened. January 6th is
he didn't say violence, dumbass.
Example of Trump spitting on all of us who served, and all of us who served and lie in a grave in Arlington. Regard for the rest of us and for the country overall.
And I can't blame you. I'll take that back. You probably just like paid to say this.
And I say this as a former Republican.
Have you noticed something? But as AB Pack has beforehand, he used to say I voted for Trump in 2016. Now he just say former Republican. So that means he probably voted for Hillary. And what is he doing on his laptop? Oh my god, bro! It looks like he's gonna be the next meme character. Like.
I have tremendous fear that he can get elected again.
Wait,
he has no sense of right.
Did he just like take a sip of his coffee and he looked absolutely disgusted?
I have tremendous fear that he can get elected again.
Oh.
He has no sense of right and wrong.
That's like an old Trump.
The military asks of us selfless service. That's one.
Well, your VP pick for Harris literally gave up on his Afghanistan thing. J.D. Vance is like, ban the military, dumbass.
The Army values. With Donald Trump, there's nothing selfless about the man.
Also, I like how they show your wife even though he's not even there.
AIPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Sees a Trump sign, immediately has a heart attack. Bro's probably not even in the military anyway. Probably lied about that too. Oh yeah, and this ad's also pretty stupid. It's like the last of the other shit campaign.
Why'd you turn it off?
I don't need anyone lecturing me on democracy.
And democracy. This is definitely another pro Kamala Harris, but they're just saying Trump, and he's like,
what do you mean?
For starters, you don't get to be a dictator, even for a day.
Well, not gonna lie, Joe Biden literally got rid of a lot of Trump's executive orders on day one and canceled the Keystone Pipeline. Not gonna lie, that is kind of dictator-like.
You gotta respect the
Constitution. Let me just say, the left knows nothing about the Constitution, jackass. And also, I like how you're fishing out here. Like, why are you even fishing? Why are you fishing in a pool that looks like the swamp?
Follow the law and accept defeat when you lose.
But Donald Trump didn't do any of that.
I said Democrats first. Also, just wait. Who is that out there? Is that like the camera crew? Or who are these people that are just walking by? And why are you just in a lake?
Root Station. The loss is staggering. Over 4,000 Pennsylvanians die each year from fentanyl, nearly all of it starting in China. And while law enforcement and grieving families see a killer, Dave McCormick saw a way to get...
Yes, he did fentanyl, guys. He likes fentanyl. This is... Oh my gosh, it's by the Daily Kos, which, by the way, is like so far left. They literally donate to like liberal candidates. So they've like donated to Val Demings against Rubio. So you know they're like full of shit. So like come on.
Even richer, as CEO of Wall Street's largest hedge fund, McCormick invested millions in China's biggest fentanyl producer.
When you're full of lies and you know it.
Profiting off people's pain. That's Dave McCormick.
Now, I do think Dave McCormick did do some fishy stuff, but he is not buying fentanyl in Pennsylvania. I mean, in China. Oh my god, that's like so much lies.
Go to this website to see the facts for yourself.
I'm Bob Casey.
The facts are that you're full of shit.
And I approve this message.
Prices are...
Okay, well, that's it. Well, so far, Pennsylvania, I think, is the real loser here with these ads. No matter which side, if you're pro-Kamala or not, these ads are like... basically just getting annoying to the point where I even think that Trump ads are kind of getting a little annoying. Don't get me wrong, I still like Trump, and I still like seeing a pro-Trump ad coming on. But I mean, constantly though, it's like we're getting raped 24/7 with these ads. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. American Eagle Predictions out.